what makes me me is this, traveler, like strange traveler, where you are always at home and not at home at the same time. Like when I'm, for example, when I'm in India and when I'm writing scripts or coming up with different ideas, I feel at that point of time that I'm Indian. At the same time, when I look at it objectively, when I'm trying to polish it, I try to look at it from absolutely objective point of view, as if even I'm not myself. I'm not a writer, I'm not Ukrainian, I'm not female, I'm not Daria, I'm just something, just like a force. And even when I'm going to Ukraine and I'm just coming back home, and I realize that I can't say that I'm Ukrainian. I can't say that I'm Indian. I can't say I'm a filmmaker. I can say I'm just a traveler who is trying to find new stories and rediscover myself. So for me, it was very important when my audience sees the film, they don't think, who am I? Is she Ukrainian? Is she? Is she a female or is she male? Or who produced the film? I want just them to experience the film. And then if they have any questions, then they can just figure out who is the creator. Because I feel sometimes when we watch films and we question who is the creator, our mind goes, instead of going into the heart of the stories, it goes into the background of the creator, which takes us away from the story itself. So that's why I came up with the idea of put my name as Daria Gai, because it's Daria Gai. So you don't know whether Daria Gai is a female filmmaker or male. Yeah, he's male or female. We don't know where he's coming from. Most of the people think that it's a male. I have a lot of invitations from different festivals saying it's Mr. Guy, and I don't mind that. I don't mind it only because I don't want to feed the audience and to create different context of my own film, a part of film itself. So I guess from this point of view, I created this safety net around. But of course, if we are talking about more social issues and what I'm going through while pitching or while creating any projects as a female director, it's a tricky question, because definitely there is a gender issues that we are facing in our industry, and I guess in any other industries. I was doing my bachelor degree in philosophy, and at the same time I was involved in theater. I was acting, I was then directing, I was organizing theater festivals, art exhibitions. So theater was something that's very close to me, and I thought that I already know Western culture and I wanted to explore something new. So I sent my CVs all over the world. I sent to Japan, China, India, and one of the schools, India School, boys boarding school, they invited me to teach their theater art. So I came, I directed Founders Day play, and I was supposed to stay only for 6 months, but they asked me to stay for another 6 months. So I stayed for another 6 months. And from that point of time, I already knew that it would be continuing like this, 6 months, 6 months, 6 months. And now I'm here 6 years. And now I don't think it will be next 6 months. I guess I'm kind of like stuck here because we got so many different ideas to tell and to recreate on the screen and in all our projects. So I came to Bombay. I took short course in screenwriting from Whistling Woods, and they invited me to teach there. So I taught there for 4.5 years, and now I just took a break when I realized that I'm not a very institutional person. You know, I needed my time to I guess to find what I'm trying to say. And each project, starting from our first feature film, Aur Aadha, to Nam De Bab, our second feature film, with every film, I feel that we're growing not just as filmmakers, but as storytellers. You know, because it's not just about technique, it's about how you're telling the story, what you're trying to say, and what are you trying to discover there inside. I guess screenwriting was kind of like a cheat, because I was trying to be a documentary filmmaker, but a part of me, no one has applied for the course. So I just checked what was the cheapest course, and it was screenwriting. So I'm like, yeah, I would love to write, and I started writing. And then I discovered it's something very close to me, that's something that gives me opportunity to create the worlds, which I always felt there inside me, and I can just put them out on the papers. And I was very fascinated with this experience. And then second stage was that, oh, hey, I have created these worlds, and now I can take them further of just putting them there on the screen. I was sitting on the in the cinema, and I remember I was watching some absolutely strange Bollywood film, and I was so bored that I was just like coming up with different ideas. An idea for a short film which was set in brothel came up to me, and I shared it with my friend, who's cinematographer, Kartik Katkar, and he said we can easily shoot it in one long take. I'm like, are you sure? Like, it'll be around 20 minutes. He's like, it'll be difficult, but let's try it. And we started discussing the idea. I wrote the script, and then another friend of mine, Aditya Modi, she's also a producer and director. She loved the idea. She's like, you know what, I have a house, you can just shoot there, and I can produce it. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So I used my own students who came there to assist, and we shot a short film. I showed to a friend of mine, to Avni Rai, and she really liked the idea, and she's like, listen, let's just show it to Anurag Kashyap. And I'm like, yeah, let's show it, why not? And we showed it to Anurag. Anurag watched the film, and his first reaction was, I wished I shot it. And for me, that reaction was, I guess, one of the most inspiring ones, because that pushed me to not to fear to create anything. Like, even if people like it, if they don't like it, they can relate to it. They can't. For me, it's a growing process. And I realized that I just need to move on with direction. And he said, I like everything, but you can use better camera. So he helped us to shoot it again, and we shot it again. After that, he watched it, and he's like, you know what? It can be also a feature film. I'm like, come on, fine. He's like, just write the script. So I wrote a script. He liked it, and he said, I'm ready to come as a presenter. But you should remember that filmmaking, it's just about the drive, you know, when you can just go out there and shoot even if you don't have any financial support. So that kind of support we got from him, and it was amazing, because we realized that we shouldn't just depend on studios or producers to produce Bollywood films, because we knew that it's experimental, it's our first feature film, that no one will try to risk, you know, for that kind of project. So we decided to produce it ourselves, and Dirma Maya, who's a producer on the film, he read the script, and he said it's something that he can feel for the script, and he can imagine how it will come out, and he was fascinated with the idea of 3 long takes and the story of the house. So he decided to produce it, and we pulled together all our team. No one was getting paid, starting from, of course, producer, director, cinematographer, to musicians, to composer, she was from Ukraine, and because my idea was to create music which will be a combination of Indian culture and Ukrainian culture. So we used Ukrainian folk song with Indian musical instruments. So I guess this is how it happened, 3.5. Well, my producer is very happy. Every time when we talk to Jim or Zoya, we definitely discuss that their films also can promote our film, because at the end of the day, our industry is so tricky when big fish can push the small fishes. And I think it's our case with our film. I guess the most difficult thing during Aur Aadha was that the entire film is being shot in 3 long takes. And because of our shoestring budget, we couldn't afford even 1 extra day of rehearsal with camera. So camera was coming only on the day of the shoot. And we had to rehearse for days and days and days to make sure that it will happen. My producer actually lost half of his hair during the actual take of the film, because we knew if it wouldn't happen over the next 2 hours, we don't have a film, because we don't have extra budget for that. And I remember it was a second story, where Jim Sarb and Zoe Hussain they were acting. And somehow every time when they were getting into the role, and it was like 25th minute or 35th minute, almost end of the take, something was happening with the camera. Or a cameraman was falling down, or something was, just some production design thing was just falling down, and we had to retake again. And till the last second, I didn't know whether we are getting the take or not. And all 3 takes were extremely stressful. And of course it was very difficult for the actors, but I guess we were just blessed with good actors who were exposed to theater, or we just went through a lot of rehearsals, like we've done it with our main character in the first part, who was 12 years old boy, and because we've done around 50 hours of rehearsals with him, he was just able to pull it off, and he was like one of the best, I guess, in the entire film. So by now we traveled to more than 22 film festivals, and it continues making rounds. We got our Indian premiere at Kerala Film Festival, which was an incredible experience because I haven't seen audience like that. They saw through each and every subplots or metaphors that I have put into the film, and their reaction was so welcoming and overwhelming. They were shouting, they were laughing, they were clapping, whistling, and I guess it was one of the best responses from the film. And after that, we received around like 7 awards. Right now, we are going for as an opening film for Ottawa Indian Film Festival, and in June we're having London Indian Film Festival screening over there. And now just all over the world. In France, Portugal, Nigeria was unexpectedly invited us. And I'm also I'm really looking forward to see that, because I want to see how people from different nations can relate to something so specific, to Mumbai, and so local to Mumbai as just house in the heart of Mumbai. Film festivals are as tricky as Bollywood industry. When we're just about to make our films, we thought that to get into film festival is much easier than Bollywood. But now my producer is saying that I'm done with the festivals, I just want to do films for Bollywood, because it also depends on a lot of different factors. Apart from being good film, you also need to know how festival functions. And festivals can be important for small film because it gives you opportunity to get good digital release, whether it's Netflix or Amazon or any other digital platform. And of course, you're getting exposure to the audience, and you're testing your film on the audience. My grandmother, she knows Raj Kapoor songs by heart. She knows who Kishore Kumar is. And during USSR time, Indian cinema was extremely popular. Then unfortunately right now, when I talk about cinema, about Indian cinema, all my friends, they know only Bollywood and quite awkward films. And they haven't been exposed to modern Indian art house cinema at all, because I guess we don't have distribution for that yet. But I really hope that, let's say, Indian film festivals that we're also planning next year in Ukraine will open up some doors to each other's cultures. Oh, I'm facing a lot of issues with it, because when someone is asking me, so where are you from? I'm like, fine. So I was born in Ukraine. So where do you work? I work in India. So, and as a director, which country do you belong to? And I really don't know how to answer, because I can't say Ukraine because I'm not shooting in Ukraine, and I can't say India because I guess officially, when we are submitting the film, to be considered as an Indian filmmaker, you need to be born in India. So that's why also we have issues with a lot of funds. Even though my stories are Indian, actors are Indian, it's in Hindi or sometimes even in Marathi, but I need to be European, or I need to be Indian filmmaker to be considered as an Indian project. I think I'm quite lucky because I haven't met people who were trying to take advantage of me, or I was just like not seeing it. And most of the time I was just like, I want to stay at home and I want to write, and I'm not very going out person. And I think that just saved me. So I can't say that I faced it. I definitely heard about these stories. A lot of my friends who are actresses, they face terrible stories and terrible men who are behaving weirdly with them. What I really want is just to be able to shoot feature film every year, and with each film to grow as a filmmaker, and to give opportunities to people who maybe haven't ever been exposed to filmmaking or to acting, to be part of it. Like for example, in our second film, the main lead, he hasn't ever stepped out of Bombay in his entire life. He has been driver for 45 years. And when I saw him, I realized that he can be best casting for our film. And it was his first experience in his entire life, traveling. People were taking care of him. Our assistants were just like around him. And like to see what kind of experience he got, it just made me very happy. Now I know no matter what will happen to the film, it was worth it. I think right now indie filmmakers, they're getting really very important opportunity when whatever we're creating can be exposed to the audience, whether it's through YouTube channels or through digital platforms as Netflix and Amazon. Now we are not tied down only to Bollywood studios and to producers who want to make 20 crores films with the stars. And I think that kind of freedom hasn't ever been there before. So right now we're on our last leg of post-production of our second film, Namdebao. And next week I'm going to Rome to write music, background score, with great composer Daria Gai. He's an Italian composer who composed also music for Pursuit of Happiness and also Fan and Hum Laga Khaisha. Something like some Indian film. Yeah, so he's done I think for that as well. So he's a great composer. So we are just about to finish that, and hopefully by the end of this year, we will also send it to the festivals, or we will have digital release. We haven't still decided what to do. At the same time, we have 3 projects for the future films. One is it's a film which is being shot, which will be shot by 3 to 4 different female filmmakers from around the world. One will be from India, and it's me in this case. One will be from Ukraine, one will be from the US, and I think from Nigeria or Netherlands. And it's just short stories based on women experiences and their feelings, and I guess just their stories. For me, it's a very inspiring project because I feel that it's something that it's important to see and to share the stories, and just to see how all women around the world, somewhere there, they have the same issues or problems that they are having and they're experiencing. Then we have a second project that we're developing, which is it's a black comedy set on India-Pakistan border, which I'm very excited about. And we have one more digital film from one of the major platforms. If you have your camera, you have your phone, just go there and shoot it. Even if it's like 0 budget film, or you have 2,000 rupees, just go and shoot your short film or your first feature film, and not thinking about the audience, about critics, about other producers, how good or bad my first feature film. No, if you're getting opportunity to shoot, just go there, shoot.